And we are back to bring you the second half after that wonderful halftime show. The Tigers will be receiving the ball as Plaquemine is set to kick off here. Number 80, Clark Croson, set deep to receive as Tofield, as he has come up and is lined up at about the 12-yard line. They had tried to squib the first time they kicked off. So we'll see what they do here. Once again, a little onside, and DiMaggio falls on it. And I'm not sure if that's a gutsy call or if it's not a very good call, because they've given the Tigers field position at the 47. It was not an all-out onside kick. And I'm not sure if that was the call or if the kid did it on his own or a bad kick or whatever, but the Tigers have great field position to start the second half at the 47-yard line.
Well, I think their intention were to squib it through the first line, and Independence kicked the ball on about the 30-yard line, Darryl, but DiMaggio did a nice job in not wanting Tofield to touch the ball. It's a smart move by Plaquemine, but this time it backfired.
Tofield, your lone setback. They'll turn and hand the ball to him. Man in the backfield. He's got the corner, folks. Cutting up the middle. Breaks to the outside. One man to beat. Goodbye, real deal. He is gone. What a run. No flags on the field, and the Tigers have exploded out of the gates for the second half, and they jump out to a 28-8 lead. And if you're Independence and Coach Baggs, just what you wanted, come out and give them a knockout blow early.
And that's exactly what they did. A knockout blow. 52 yards for LeBrandon Tofield. He cut up the middle and found a seam to the outside, and just like that, Independence goes up 28-8.
And I do not believe LeBrandon Tofield will be upset about his performance after tonight's game, as he's been on fire here in Fuego, as you may, and he's doing the job tonight, and that's his second touchdown. Weatherford to line up to kick the extra point. He missed one earlier tonight. Let's see if he can drill this one to the middle.
Well, he doesn't miss many, Darryl, and I don't look for him to miss another one.
Bad snap, though. They try to throw the ball there, and that was number 32, Rod Williams. Obviously not a quarterback. One hop to trying to get it to McClain in the end zone. So if there's a down point tonight in this game, that the Tigers have not produced very well when they've tried to kick the extra point.
And that'll be something they'll work on this week for next week's game, because we hadn't seen that all week, Darryl. It's just unfortunate that it's happened tonight. So with 11:45 to go in the third quarter, 28 and Plaquemine 8.
And I got to tell you, folks, it's getting a little bit chillier out here. We've went to the gloves here to start the second half. Marty's sucking down a big cup of hot chocolate over here as it is starting to see smoke coming out of our breath. It is getting chilly here, but the Tigers are on fire, heating up this whole stadium as it is 28-8. And what a huge play to start the second half. You come out of halftime thinking, all right, if you're Plaquemine, I'm still in the ball game, and boom, right there, somebody slams the door in your face. And it is 28-8, so a huge series for the Green Devils on offense here. Sieber with a one-hopper will go through the side there, will be picked up at the 12-yard line. As he goes to the middle, got a little seam, tries to get to the outside and knocked down at the 30 there. Gang tackle leading the way, number 7, Charles Tofield, number 40, Ty Keith Smith. So Plaquemine first and 10 at the 30, and you're down 20 points here early in the second half, and you got to come out and at least get a couple of first downs and get some kind of momentum back on your side, as you've just been knocked back on your heels by the big run by LeBrandon Tofield.
And, Darryl, I really don't look for anything different from Plaquemine. I think they'll continue to take what Independence gives them, which Independence doesn't give you a lot, but I think they'll pound it with Blanchard and see what happens. They're in a big hole right now against a dangerous cat, and that's the big Tiger.
And the Tiger defense on the prowl, as you may, as they do not want to let them establish a run. They want to see them throw the football as they come Blanchard to the outside, and Antoine Courtney, the big man, rolled to the outside and dropped him for about a 4-yard loss. And they want the Green Devils to panic and throw the football. That's what they're playing for.
Well, they are, and there's not a lot of weaknesses on Independence's defense, and thus far the defense has stepped up. After the first series of down, they've really played well.
And I just think the Green Devils kind of caught them off guard with that big pass play, and before they could catch their breath and regroup, they punched it in. And since then, though, it's been the Tigers' defense who's made all the plays, have adjusted very well. And you know what it is to have a weapon like Albritton that you can put man-to-man and let everybody else play the rest of the field, because he is covered man-to-man all night long, looking to throw the ball, trying to throw the deep out. And number 6, Devarius Best, has cut in front 3 times, and that could be dangerous if you don't get the football, but that one was overthrown, bringing up a 3rd and 12.
So Independence has got Plaquemine in somewhat of a hole as they're faced with a 3rd down and 12, and that's not what you want to be if you're Coach Tommy Minton against this great Independence defense. So 3rd down and 13 for the Green Devils, Darrell, and it's panic time for the Green Devils.
Well, it's getting very close to it if it is not panic time. They need to get something here, because if they give the Tigers the ball back with good field position, this one's going to be over early. Mirage, your quarterback, barking out. He's been trying to get him to jump offside all night. It has not worked. Oh, and he's crushed by Antoine Courtney. He is down. The big man laid a lick on him, and I'm not sure this young man's getting up. That was a big lick by a big man, and they stop him on 3rd down, and he is hurting.
And Antoine Courtney, that was a vicious lick, and but Mirage, a tough young man, got up. I don't know how, but he did, and nevertheless, it was an incomplete pass. So in will be Kraylon Parker, and back deep to receive will be Kenny Albritton. And Darrell, I've seen a lot of rosters in my time, but some of these names are about the toughest as you'll ever find to pronounce. Maybe I need to brush up on my phonetics.
And he fumbled the snap, but gets a punt away, taking it Albritton by the 38, gets to the outside, turns the corner, will pick up about 10 yards. He breaks free, still on his feet and down at about the 42-yard line. And I got to tell you something, guys, there's some hitting going on in this game as tempers are starting to flare, as the Tigers are putting an old-fashioned whooping on the Green Devils.
Well, they are, and Kenny Albritton, just a magician right there, as he just, 1 or 2 guys is not going to tackle him, and he's tough to tackle. He made a nice spin move, and he picked it up across the 50-yard line into Plaquemine territory down to the 41-yard line. So he's looking like Michael Jordan driving to the goal on that punt return, Darrell, as he was spinning and jumping and leaping and ripping and rolling, and he just did what he had to do and made a nice return.
I never thought one person could do that many things in one run, but if merely Marty Morgan said it, you can take it to the bank, baby. Tofield, your lone setback. Sieber, your quarterback. He's rolling left, looking for Williams deep. Going to try to get to the outside. Big man chasing him and going to take him down for a 2-yard loss. And Wilford Jones, 6'3", 248, freshman, showed a lot of athletic ability to run down Sieber and drop him for a 1-yard or 2-yard loss.
Well, that was a nice defensive play, as I thought Sieber had the corner from our vantage point, but Wilford Jones did a nice job and just hog-collared him for a 1-yard loss.
And quite an athletic play there by the defensive lineman, bringing up the Tigers on 2nd and 11. And this is a crucial series for the Plaquemine defense. They cannot afford to get any further down than they already are. And the Tigers have that look in the eye of the Tiger, so to speak. And right now they're looking to put the nails in the coffin, as they want to put this one away and not have to worry about it in the 4th quarter. Sieber drops back, will hand to Tofield. Not much there, but he skips to the outside, breaks one tackle, stiff arms the DB. Albritton docking downfield, cuts inside to the left. He's going to score, folks. I can't say enough about the young man, the blocking up front and the blocking downfield by the wide receivers. But this young man, you give him an inch, he'll take him out, and he's punched it in once again. The Green Devils, hands on hips, heads down. What can you say, Marty? They're just running it down their throats right now and have taken this one over in the second half, have come out strong, and it's 34-8.
Well, I think what they've done is they've just worn out Plaquemine, and the worst thing that could have happened is for Plaquemine to score first and wake Independence up. And they woke up, and they're up, and Plaquemine's Rip Van Winkle, because they're not getting up. They are sleeping, and they are going to be dead because Independence is just running roughshod over them. And LeBrand and Tofield, you know, words can't describe that last run. You just needed to look at it on your TV set and just be mystified, because it was outstanding.
And I think maybe one word can describe it: wow. That's all you can say, folks. This young man is quite an athlete, only a junior. Will be back next year, and right now this whole Tiger team is looking like they want to take the next step to the next round because Superdome is in the background of their minds. They want to get there. 36-8 with 9:18 to go in the third quarter. Tigers have taken control of this ball game and have come out running the football on the Plaquemine Green Devils, and right now they look a little confused and just don't know what hit them here, Marty. So Sieber will set up to kick off here. We've seen a young man boom one out the end zone before. Let's see what he does with this one. And this one's going to go in the end zone once again. There will be no return. What a weapon you have. So the Green Devils will start out on offense. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line.
And with 9:18 to go in the third quarter, your score is Independence 36 and Plaquemine 8.
And we'd like to take this time to talk about our sponsors. Fidelity Finance is locally owned and operated, located at 118 North Kate Street in downtown Hammond. Come by our office or give us a call at 429-8000 for all your financial needs. Also, Music Nonstop DJ Services is the best around. Rudy at 230-0988, Brian at 543-0995. Call them and book your parties now. And they try to run Blanchard to the outside, and he'll get a little bit of the corner and drag down by number 5, Otto Bonds. And right now, running ain't going to get it done, Marty, as they're going to need to score quickly because they have yet to show they can stop the Tigers in the second half.
Well, they have not, and right there, I don't know if Plaquemine can pass, Darrell. I mean, obviously they came into this game overmatched, and Independence has proven that late in the second half and early in the third quarter. So Plaquemine, the only thing they can do is just try to execute and not let this thing get any worse.
But for a second-year coach, Plaquemine, and they hadn't been to playoffs in a while, it's a good thing that they got here, and it'll be a learning experience for them. As Lionel Joseph drags down Blanchard once again, and this defense is fired up, and it'll bring up about a 3rd and 6. And Blanchard is down after the hard hit and doesn't look like he's getting up. Our other sponsor tonight is Petro Truck Stop and Lucky Jacks. Mr. Jack Raffel, the big sponsor of Independence football, located across from I-12 there at Hammond Square Mall. Go by and fill your tank up if you're getting on the road tomorrow to go down to Tiger Town, the other Tiger Town, and go by and see them and thank them for helping us sponsor the games. And, you know, Marty, it's a little early to talk about this, so we're going to go ahead and talk. The winner of this game will go on to meet the winner of the West Feliciana Winsboro game on the road. So somebody's going to have to travel next week, and when you start, if it's Winsboro, you start going to North Louisiana, it's going to be kind of cold.
Well, it is going to be kind of cold, but I think after Thursday night, Darrell, with that wind, and it can't get any colder than it was last Thursday night, and they did a nice job. But you're right, as you get deeper into the playoffs, you know, the elements do play a part, believe it or not. I mean, kids in South Louisiana not used to this cold weather, and you know, it's a lot different carrying that ball in 30-degree weather than it is 65-degree weather.
And it's awful hard when you get tackled down on the frozen tundra. 3rd and a short 6 here. I backfield. Morange turns, pitches the ball, nowhere to go. And Antoine Smith is just coming off the corner to take away the pitch man because the quarterback does not want to keep the football. And they will be forced to punt here. And right now it's just doomsday for this Plaquemine team. The Tigers have come out and stunned them in the third quarter. And, you know, it's kind of what everybody looked for early in the game, but it took them a little while. And they almost got there, but they have come out and really worked hard here, and they've jumped out to a 36-8 lead here.
And, Darrell, this is the 7th game we've done by Independence. And I've seen a lot of high school games, and I don't know that I've seen a team adjust as well as Independence does. Whenever a team does something good against them, they go in at halftime and they adjust accordingly and do a nice job. As Plaquemine had success early on the option, Independence went in at halftime, adjusted, and Plaquemine has not done nothing.
Well, the Independence coaching staff, you know, we've hung around them a little bit this year, and we saw how organized, and that comes from stability. Coach Baggs has been here for 19 years, and there's a lot of assistants that have been here for a long time. We've mentioned Keith Corona and Joe Levine and Sammy Messina and Mike Young and just a whole crew, and they have it down to an art form. It's a science form. They know each day, and they take each game the same way, whether it's Kentwood or who it may be. no matter who it is, they come and approach the game the same way, and it's showing here tonight. Sieber dropping back. Tofield picks up the blitz. He's looking to throw right. Got Albritton on the out pattern and dropped as he hit him right between the numbers. And once again, we see LeBrandon Tofield pick up the blitz and allow Sieber time to throw the football. And he put it on the money, but dropped by Albritton. Brings up 2nd and 10 from the 41.
And we haven't seen too many drops by Albritton this year, Darrell. That may be the first or second one we've seen. And so he has done a nice job. And you know, getting back to Albritton, Darrell, his first year of playing football, and that's just phenomenal, the things he's done in 1 year of playing high school football.
And he has been the silent superstar on this team. He has made a lot of big plays for him this year, but doesn't get mentioned a lot. But this whole team, especially the offensive line, have done a fine job, especially here in the third quarter.
You know, and me myself, I'm a lot like Kenny Albritton, the silent superstar. When they have people like you and Jeff Davis and Crawfish Ron and Benny Latino, y'all get all the props, and I'm just you know, I'm merely a neophyte in y'all's world, and, you know, I accept it.
Well, not in my eyes, Marty, as there's not a better partner around, and our cameraman, Catfish Field, doing a fine job. Before the season started, he didn't know a football from a tennis ball, but he's done a fine job. He's learned the game, and we try to bring you the best presentation that we can, and I feel like we do a pretty good job, and we always try our best. So the Tigers, as Tofield is sacked back for about a 5-yard loss, have 3rd and 15, and the Plaquemine defense has stepped up here on this series, but let's see what the Tigers have come up with on 3rd down. And Albritton comes to this side, once again matched up against 89, Jermaine Georgetown. He's beaten him 2 or 3 times tonight deep. They've yet to complete one over him except for the one that was underthrown. So we'll see if they go to that here. They're sending Williams on the out. They got Albritton over the middle. There it is. And overthrown, and he had him once again, beat him deep as he went on the little post pattern to the middle and had him, but overthrown by Sieber. And Sieber's been a little bit off target tonight on some of his long passes, and he's been the best around all year completing the long pattern.
And right there, he just overthrew Kenny Albritton, but that was a great play call. He rolled to the left, and Williams ran a corner route, and from the right side, Albritton ran a post route, and he was open, but it just overthrown.
Yeah, but you know what, Marty, though? I think that might have a little bit to do with the fact that he underthrew 3 of them in the first half, and he wanted to make sure he got enough air into that one and just didn't complete it. So Weatherford will be back to punt, standing at his 42-yard line. Deep to receive is 25, Peter Vila. And this one is angled out of bounds and will be brought out at about the 18-yard line. So with 6:37 to go in the third quarter, Tigers in control here. Plaquemine will have the ball. And not much going right for the Plaquemine Green Devils in the second half, Marty. No breaks going their way, and they haven't made any plays either.
No, they haven't, Darrell. And but, I mean, they're a gamely team. They came in here under tough circumstances, and they've given it their all. They just, to be quite honest with you, they're not as good as Independence, and it's shown. And that little pitchfork on their helmet has been stuck in their heart by the Tigers.
And the Tigers have been heartbreakers all season long, undefeated coming into this game, 10-0. And number 2 ranked in AAA in the state, trailing only the University of Evangel, which they will have to meet somewhere along the line in the Dome if they can get that far, if both teams can get that far, as Evangel has a meet in the other bracket also. And what a thing that would be if for somehow the A-Meet Warriors and the Independence Tigers could meet in the Superdome for the state title. There wouldn't be a person left in Tangipahoa Hope Parish.
Oh, I don't believe there would be, and that'd be a dream matchup. I'd love to see it.
So 6:06 to go and ticking, 36-8 Tigers. 2nd down and 10. 2 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. I backfield, Morange the quarterback. They turn. He's looking to throw the ball again. Got the crossing pattern and tipped and on the ground as that was number 88. Donald Ray Pugh had 3 shots at it, and the ball just will not bounce their way. And here we see another flag. And I got to tell you something, folks. Tempers are getting a little testy out there. You hate to see it in high school athletics, but right now tempers are getting very testy out there. And this one will go against the Tigers, probably going to be a personal foul call, as there's getting to be a lot of extracurricular activities. As the referee comes over to talk to the coaches on the sideline, they don't want to see this happen here tonight. You know, the game's a little bit out of hand, but you don't want to see that happen for either team. But emotions do run high, and coming from somebody who played sports back in the day when I was in school, and when you get to the pinnacle, you get to the playoffs and you lose, I just can't tell you the feeling that you have. You put everything into something and it's getting taken away from you.
And Daryl, you bring up a good point. That's the thing in sports. I mean, everybody gives their all, and it's unfortunate that somebody has to come up short. And, you know, but in football, you learn great lessons. You learn unity, you learn togetherness, and it helps you later on in life. It gives you something to stick with. And when you play high school football, you stay with it the whole year. That carries like in a job later in life. You stick with something.
And you would know Marty Morgan, be a former 3-sport athlete in high school.
And yes, I was, but I wasn't very good. But I was better than Mark Willoughby.
Germany breaks to the outside, picks up about 2, and right now with the clock ticking, the Tigers are content to let them run the football because it's going to be awful hard for these Green Devils to score 26 points trying to run the football against them. There's just not enough time on that clock here tonight for them. So 2nd down and 6 for the Green Devils. Plaquemine came in this game 7-3 in a wild card spot, and you know, talking to the coaches before the game, they were worried about this game. Plaquemine had some weapons and came out early and showed it, but the Tigers have stepped up to the task tonight. And once again, there's the pitch real quick. This time Germany gets to the outside, and they come flying in, took a shot at the quarterback, didn't get him, and the pitch got away, and they pick up the 1st down. So nice job there on offense.
And Daryl, talking about this Plaquemine team, they're not a bad football team. In fact, they're a pretty good football team. It's just that Independence is a great football team, and you know, had Plaquemine played anybody else aside from Evangel, Independence, maybe Brobridge, Notre Dame, St. James, or A-Mead, they probably would have won the 1st-round game. But it was just unfortunate that they were pitted against Independence.
And Germany around the outside, and you know, we haven't seen Blanchard come back in. I think maybe he might be injured, but this Germany kid, a 5'7", 145-pound sophomore, although it says in the program 1,455 pounds, but I don't think he's quite that large. Must be a typo. But, you know, he's come in and done a good job, showed a lot of speed, and has gotten to the outside a couple of times. But then again, you know, the Tigers look like they've relaxed a little bit on defense. The stands are quiet on this side. They're quiet on the sideline. Not the emotion that they had early in the 3rd quarter. But you don't want to fool around and let a team like this get back in the ball game, so they'll need to step up here. 2nd down and 2, hands to the fullback. He breaks through the line. Big Drake has him and follows him down. Also hit there by number 56, Gerald Whittington. But they pick up the 1st down, and they're inside Tiger territory down at the 41-yard line. Green Devils on the move.
And they are. And, Daryl, you talk about that coming out in the 2nd half. I don't know what Charlie Bagley told his troops at halftime, but he sure told them something to wake them up. Because they came out early in the 3rd quarter and they just exploded and they had fire in their eyes. Maybe I can get him to call me Monday morning and wake me up and put some fire under me.
Hand the ball off to Germany again, and Antoine Smith steps up and sacks him for a 2-yard loss. Busted through his block and met him head on, and the young man Germany went down as Antoine Smith's a big fella. And we see his dad in the stands down there getting loose down there. He loves it when Antoine comes to play.
That young man got a bright future ahead of him, Antoine Smith, only a junior, and Daryl, he's pretty well put together.
2nd down and 11. 3 backfield set once again. Mirage barking out the signals. They take a long time. They fake the handoff, and he's going to keep it himself. And Antoine Courtney takes it away, and the big man is rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. He's gone, folks. As he went through the line, big Antoine ripped it out of his hands and took it the distance for the Tigers.
And that's just an alert play by a defensive lineman, a defensive lineman's dream, and he just jerked it out of his hand. And anytime you're going to have a jerking contest with Antoine Courtney, an object in hand, he's going to take something away anytime. And he took the ball away from Meringue, and he rumbled 60 yards, and touchdown, a defensive lineman's dream, and Independence goes up 42-8.
So what you're trying to say, Marty Morgan, is Mr. Morange and Courtney in a tug of war wouldn't be much of a matchup.
And I don't know that Antoine Courtney and who's the guy on the world's strongest man competition?
O.D. Brown.
O.D. Brown or Muster Mustassinen from Switzerland?
Magnus Magnuson.
I think Antoine Courtney would give Magnus Magnuson a run for his money in a strength contest.
Reminds me of a young Dud Feist, the former lineman for the Bayou Thunder, who had a basketball scholarship to Southeastern. Quite an athlete in his day, but, you know, kind of losing a little bit, putting on a few pounds. But he's still quite an athlete, though, Marty.
And this Independence team could beat the Bayou Thunder.
We won't talk about that other team that plays on Sunday, because right now they look a lot better than they have been the last few weeks, although they did come up with a win last week against the Raiders.
Yeah, Al Davis just doing a great job of destroying a lot of talent.
And
these people are nuts. I hear that Jerry Jones is talking about coaching the Cowboys. Did you hear that? That's hysterical.
Well, you know what? If he's going to fire Barry Switzer, he might want to come to Independence and get Charles Baglio, because what a fine job they've done tonight is they came ready to play and made the adjustments at halftime, and they are walking away with it. The score is 43-8 here as Sieber lines up to kick off. 25 set back to receive. That's Peter Vila. Sieber, a one-hopper. It's on the ground, picked up by the big man, 92, Wilford Jones. That's the big freshman that ran Sieber down. He's stacked up at the 30. Tigers in control here, 3:11 to go in the third quarter.
And we'd like to thank our sponsors. Tonight's game being sponsored by Music Nonstop DJ Services. Call Rudy at 230-0988 or Brian at 543-0995. And it's getting that time for Christmas parties and events you'd like to have. If you need a DJ to liven up your party, call those two guys, because they can really liven it up. And also Fidelity Finance, locally owned and operated at 118 North Kate Street in downtown Hammond. Come by our office or give us a call at 429-8000 for all your financial needs. And also Petro's Truck Stop and Lucky Jack's. Jack Rothell can help you out, as he's a big Independent supporter. We'd like to thank all our sponsors.
Thank them we do, because we're here tonight as Germany tries to get to the outside and knock down hard there. Looked like number 4, Keith McLean, on the tackle. And without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you all the good, nice sporting events that we have been able to do, especially high school football. We've got some great things coming up in the future. I know in a couple of weeks we're going to be covering the big homecoming rugby game for Southeastern, as they don't have football anymore, and they're going to push the rugby game. And, you know, Tangi Sports is on the move here. We have done more games this season than ever in the past history of Tangipahoa Television, and hopefully the tradition will continue, thanks mostly to our sponsors. 2nd and 10 here. Morange back in at quarterback. Hands the ball to Germany, and nowhere to go. And that was a fine play by Derek Hunter, as he came from the left defensive end and broke through the tackle and sacked him behind the line for a 3-yard loss. Everybody getting in on the action tonight, Marty. Total team effort by the Tigers.
Yeah, it has been a total team effort, and that's been all season long, Darryl. You know, you talk about the superstars and Seaburn and Toefield, Kenny Albritton, defensively Courtney, along with Don Drake and Keith McLean and Quentin Weatherford on special teams. But it's been a great supporting cast, and that's what you need to win state championships, and Independence has got it.
Well, the shame about it is everybody's name doesn't get mentioned enough, but they throw the crossing pattern complete, and we'll be stopped short of the first down by about 3 yards. But, you know, it's a shame that we don't get to mention everybody's names, and we try our best. But, you know, people all night long have stepped up and made plays, and some of the big-name players have made a lot of plays tonight, so they get a little more publicity. But it is a total team effort, and not just the guys on the field. Some of these guys on the sideline that help them get ready for the games. I mean, everybody has a part of this, and it's fun to see what close-knit friends that most of these kids are, and it makes them almost like a family.
And it does. We see it at pregame. We get here early, and all these guys seem to get along. They joke around with the coaching staff, so it is a family atmosphere, and they've kind of accepted us as their family, as they are very nice and cordial to us as well.
4th down, they run to the outside. Germany hit behind the line, and the ball will go over to the Tigers. I want to see the number here, and that would be Looks like number 83 there, Chad Falcone. We've mentioned his name a lot tonight. Has played very well on defense. They turn the ball over. Tigers will take it at the 37-yard line. And there's only 48 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and you got to say with the score of 43-8, this one's pretty much in the books, Marty. At this point, you just don't want to get anybody hurt. You've come out and done your job tonight. Just execute, run some clock, and take your time and go home with this victory, and they'll celebrate tonight here in Tiger Town. So 1st and 10, Sieber under center will turn and hand the ball to LeBrandon Tofield. It's hit to the outside and hit from behind, knocked down there by Peter Vila and number 24, Monkeithan Brown. Dropped him for about a 4-yard loss, so a nice job there by the defense of the Green Devils. And, Marty, they haven't quit playing. Even though they're down by 35 points, they have not quit. They're still out there working hard. And, you know, as a former player myself, you're getting beat like this, you don't want to make it any worse. They don't want to allow Independence to score anymore. No,
they don't. They want to have a little pride, and that's just what they've shown. They've shown a lot of determination, a lot of heart, and they've played hard.
2nd and 14. Sieber's going to drop back to throw the ball, rolling left, going to be pressured. Cuts back to the right. The little magician's going to get a block here. Completes the pass to Tofield. Here he goes again, folks. Runs over a man. And right there, number 89, Jermaine Georgetown, dropped the shoulder to hit Tofield. And you don't hit that young man high, he'll run over you, and he just did. And that is number 4 tonight. The real deal, baby, but it was all made possible by the scrambling ability of Antron Sieber. Eluded 4 men and completed the pass to LeBrandon, and he did the rest.
And he had some of the best presence of mind I've seen of any young quarterback with his scrambling ability and finding an open man. And it wasn't a bad man he found in LeBrandon Tofield, and he just ran over Jermaine Georgetown. And your score at the end of the third quarter is 49-8 with Quentin Weatherford in to attempt the PAT.
Kick is down. Let's see if they can make one. It's blocked there as 25, Peter Vila, came through untouched and blocked it. So the kicking game on extra points has been atrocious tonight, Marty. Score is 49-8 at the end of the third quarter. Tigers coming into the fourth quarter here. The cheerleaders on the sideline. The fans are getting rowdy. You see the 4 fingers raised. They're getting ready for the fourth quarter, and they're celebrating early here as the Tigers lead it 49-8. LeBrandon Tofield just took a pass from Antron Sieber for over 40 yards and scored another touchdown. That is 4 tonight. 38 on the season, and an incredible number here for a young man. Tiger mascot getting busy with the flag there. Got it a little riled up there, but you see Tigers, and I got to tell you something. We drove into town, and all over town you see the signs, Tiger Country.
Tiger Power.
Tiger Town.
Tiger Village.
Tony the Tiger?
Tiger Woods.
All right. Enough of that already. And it is 49-8, starting the fourth quarter. Antron Sieber to kick off. Tigers are in control and have been a juggernaut on offense here in the third quarter and have scored 27 unanswered points in the third quarter.
And Darryl, this game,
as Germany breaks to the outside, 1 man to beat Antron Sieber, and he couldn't do it. But a great run back, and this young man, Germany, is a sophomore, and he showed me a lot here coming in, replacing Blanchard, who got injured early.
And he has. He's another one of his little scat backs, and Plaquemine's got a lot to look for in the future as they have Blanchard and Germany back for next year. So good things to come in the future for the Green Devils.
And only 9 seniors for the Green Devils, so Plaquemine will be back in the hunt again next year, and hopefully they can learn from this experience. It's hard to say you learn from a 49-8 ball game, but, you know, they came out and scored first. 49 unanswered points by the Tigers in this ball game, and there's not much you can say about that. Kenny Albrecht man-to-man on the receiver, 3-back backfield. Mirage once again takes a lot of time getting the play off. Hands the ball to 25, Peter Vila. He's going to be run down way back for a loss. And I got to tell you something, it wasn't 1 man, it was 3. Antoine Smith, Steve Mulkey, Charles Tofield, Nathan Hatfield, they were all there. And even though this defense got tested early and gave up a touchdown, they have stepped up and looked like the same defense we saw last week against Salmon.
And a very good defense it is Other than the first series, Darryl, Plaquemine hadn't done a thing.
So second down and a country mile as Plaquemine comes to the line against the Tigers. And right now, these Tigers are just pinning their ears back and coming. They hand it to the fullback. No, sir. The big man, Don Drake, grabs him and holds him up, and Mulkey takes him down. Brings up third and about 22 as a flag flies. And once again, a little extracurricular activity. And, you know, we really hope we don't see any more of this. We don't need it. It has been a hard-fought game by both teams, and we hope tempers stay under control here, and we'll see what the flag is. The officials' conference at midfield. And it looks like it might go against the Tigers, unsportsmanlike contact. And what happened, Marty? They had them down on the ground trying to rip the ball out and just got a little too aggressive with it.
Well, they did, and young man getting their tempers getting flared, and the referee had to throw a penalty on somebody, and he threw it on Independence, although it was both guys in the altercation.
And even though it's a 15-yard penalty, it's still not a first down. It brings up third down and 8 for the Tigers. The Tiger defense has stepped up to the plate and hit a home run tonight as they have shut out the Green Devils after the first series. Morange back to throw. They run a little crossing pattern. He's trying to go deep. Tofield is there. Nice play by Tofield as he used his body to shield away the receiver and knocked it down.
Well, that was number 7. That was Charles Tofield. You're right. And he did a good job.
And another flag is on the field. And, you know, Marty, there's another flag. What is a flag anyway?
It's a little piece of cloth about 4 inches by 6 inches is what it is, to be honest with you.
But it's a lot of trouble if it's against you.
Yeah, it is, and you don't want too many of those little flags.
Laundry on the field once again. This one will go against Plaquemine as it backs him up. 5 yards for an eligible man downfield. Brings up third and about 11 here for the Green Devils.
Darryl, we put a little comedy in tonight's broadcast as the game has become comical. As Independence has just risen to the top, a la Gary Shandling.
Throwing the ball once again, and it's overthrown, picked off by Albritton, and he'll be dragged down at about the 46 of the Tiger defense. Step once again. And, Marty, you talked about it being a little comical. I think maybe it might have to be funny for it's considered comedy, so we'll wait and hear the reviews. Siskel and Ebert, the jury's still out on us.
So, once again, Kenny Albritton stepping up and making a nice play, so Independence will take over once again, and they've got this one well in hand with 10-11 to go as they lead 49-8, and we'll take time to hear from our sponsors. That's Music Nonstop DJ Services. Call Rudy or Brian. Rudy at 230-0988. Brian at 543-0995. Fidelity Finance, locally owned and operated at 118 North Kate Street in downtown Hammond. Call them at 429-8000. And the Petro Truck Stop and Lucky Jack's, Jack Rothell, big Independent supporter. Thanks to all our sponsors.
Second team offense in for the Tigers there as Alak's in at quarterback, hands off to number 22, Phil Tador. He'll be dropped for a 1-yard loss, and Alak's lucky he didn't get his head taken off as they came on the blitz and hit him before he could get the handoff. So the Tigers with a 49-8 lead. They've got under 10 minutes to go here, cruising into the second round, and we'll be on the road next week, and we'll be with them, Marty, as we will travel to either Winsboro or West Feliciana. And, you know, I kind of hope that it's West Feliciana, a little shorter of a ride, but I think either team they play, the Tigers will be ready to go. And a broken play there. And they fumble on the play. That was number 37 with the football. Drops it on the turf, and number 92, Wilford Jones, that freshman again, recovers as a Plaquemine will take over, and bad execution by the second team there. Number 37 for the Tigers is not listed in our program. Must be a freshman, as they are listed on the other side, and we don't have access to that right now, but a little miscommunication there. The Tigers seem a little flustered there on offense, and now they'll call a timeout on defense as the Green Devils take it over 1st and 10. Timeout Tigers. And what a jovial crowd here. It is kind of silent considering this is a playoff game, but I guess with it being this much in hand. But I can tell you one thing, they'll be partying in town tonight, celebrating this victory, and hopefully for all the other parish teams, they'll have a W in the win column also. Kentwood in the hunt. You know, it's going to be hard for me to imagine anybody in single A beating the Kentwood Kangaroos, probably the most athletic team top to bottom in the parish, as they've got athletes at every position on the field. A meet. Although they lost only one game this year to the Independence Tigers, and they're in the tough half of the bracket, I look for them to go a long ways and maybe challenge on that side. And like we said, maybe they can end up in the dome against the Tigers. Hammond has put it together at the end of the year, has a pretty good draw for the brackets, and they could go a long ways. Ponchatoula, tough game on the road in Jesuit tonight. You know, Jesuit beat Shaw this year, so let's hope that they can come away with a victory. And also Sumner. New quarterback, as he hands to Germany there. They get inside to 30 for about 6 yards. Mario Miglacio. Julio Iglesias. I'm not sure. We're bad with these names tonight, folks, but I got to tell you, on this Plaquemine team, we're having a little tough trouble here, but we know the Tigers' names, and that's what's important tonight because they will move on.
And a lot of these young Tigers get an opportunity, and this is valuable experience for years to come, Daryl. You know, you say you get in a playoff against a good quality team, and that's just what these young guys are getting. A chance to play against a good team in the playoff.
And it's good to see some of these seniors getting a rest. Germany once again, as flags fly, cuts up the middle. Nice hole there, drives it down to about the 20-yard line. But there is a flag back, illegal motion against Plaquemine. Will back them up 5 yards, bringing up 2nd and 10. 8:43 to go here in the fourth quarter. 49-8 is your score. The Tigers came out at halftime and exploded into the third quarter with 27 points scored, and Brandon Tofield carrying the load. And, you know, we've seen a lot of teams this year, a lot of players, and I got to tell you something. There are a lot of classy athletes in this parish, a lot of fine football players, and I would take Tangipahoa Parish, take an all-star team out of this parish and put up against anybody in the state.
I'd have to agree with you. That'd be a pretty good chance.
So 2nd and 10 for the Green Devils. Magliacio, your quarterback, turns, pitches it to Germany. He will get to the outside, got 2 men in front, and cuts back to the middle. A nice play downfield by 58, Ronnie Polito, as he pursued downfield. But this starting team for Plaquemine, frustrated, trying to take it out on the second string of the Tigers here, kind of blowing them off the ball right now. But that's good experience for the Tigers because there may be a situation where these young men is going to have to come in and play in a big ball game this season.
Well, you're right. A first-teamer gets hurt. You get your opportunity, and right here you got to show Coach Baglow that you want to play, and here's your opportunity, so you got to go out and prove yourself.
1st down and 10 from the 20-yard line. 7:40 to go and counting. 3 backfield set. Once again, they'll hand to Germany up the middle. Splits up the middle and drives down for about a 7 or 8 yard gain there. And they're blowing through the line right now, but a lot of these young men getting a chance to play. 75, Sean Tanner. 76, Cody Rodriguez. 36, Gerald Franklin. Number 20, Ryan Joseph. 43, Wayne Landry. And just a host of other ones. 81, Matt Jones. We want to mention everybody's name we can. Number 56, Gerald Whittington, who does play on a regular basis. Number 17, don't have his name in there, but he's lined up back at the free safety. 2nd and 2. They hand the ball up the middle once again. The young man's going to be down at about the 6-yard line as 20, Terry Robson, broke through the line there, tackled by 43, Wayne Landry there, and it will give Plaquemine a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. As the clock continues to tick, we're down to about 6.5 minutes to go. This game well in hand for the Tigers. But you know the young men on the sideline, they've been playing the whole game, are standing there supporting their second team guys and saying, hey, let's stop them. Let's see you make up step up and make a play for us. 44, Chris Bonds lined up on the receiver, man-to-man. As we see Coach Joe Levine out on the field telling them to bring it on. They know they're going to run the football. As they pitch to Germany to the outside, we'll get to the corner and dive into the end zone and get the touchdown, bringing the score to 49-14 Tigers. So a good job there by the Plaquemine offense. You know, you leave those starters in there one more series. Let them go out of here on a good note. You'll probably see the Plaquemine coach put in his second team on the next series. A classy move by his part. Give you kids something to be proud of going out in their last series of the season.
And that, you put it, couldn't have said it better myself, Daryl. You know, gives them a little confidence. They came up facing a tough battle, and they did a nice job. And, you know, Plaquemine has nothing to hang their head about. They finished the season at 7-4, and they made the playoffs, and they had a good showing. They gave it all they could give, and they just came up short.
And, you know, looking down at the sideline, we see the stats man, little Billy Gazzarda there, dressed out better than most of the coaching staff. What's up with that? Where did he get that warm-up suit?
I don't know, but Billy does look rather snazzy, and I saw R.P. Skalash eating a lot of burgers and barbecues the other day, so he may have bought him one of those snazzy outfits, and Billy Gazzarda looking rather snazzy tonight.
So 49-16 your score as they make the two-point conversion. 6:05 to go in this ball game as it stands. Are quiet on the Independent sideline. You know, they're winning this ball game big, and everybody's kind of relaxing and just enjoying it, a jovial atmosphere, but they will explode at the end of the game. But you know something? It's hard for these fans to get really fired up because they expected to win tonight. They really did.
And like we said, you know, when Plaquemine came out and scored first, I think everybody was shocked and kind of woke Independence up, and they just have coasted ever since.
And I'm getting ready for the big road trip next week as it looks like Plaquemine's getting ready for the onside kick. Lining up that way. Millie Marty Morgan, I am Daryl Smith bringing this game to you live on Tangipahoa Television. Playoff game of the week. This is the Independence Tigers, number 2 ranked in the state, spanking the Plaquemine Green Devils 49-16. And a nice onside kick. The ball's up in the air and caught out the air by Lionel Joseph. But I got to tell you something. I haven't seen many college kickers or pro kickers that can execute the onside kick better than this young man, Clark Croson.
He did a nice job. He kicked it, and it bounced high in the air and gave his team an opportunity to come down with it. But Lionel Joseph capered toward the sky and came down with it.
And our thesaurus has been busy tonight as Marty Morgan comes up with another word. That word sponsored tonight by Nonstop DJ Music Services, Uncle Rudy's word of the night. Capered. I'm not sure if Marty knows what it means, but
it means accelerating to heights.
And we see Plaquemine jump off sides there. Flags down, so there will be a call one way or the other. Not sure if the center flinched, but the Plaquemine line jumped across the line there. And contact was made. Playoff atmosphere, high school football, chill in the air. Nothing better than this on a Friday night, folks. And I got to tell you something. If you can't get away next weekend to travel and watch this Independence Tigers team, we will have it on the air on Tangipahoa Television for you to see so you can follow along with us, as we are proud to be here following one of the best teams in the state, the number 2 ranked Tigers. Quite a performance here tonight. The Independence band jamming on the sidelines. And fumble snap by the center. Ball's on the turf. I'm not sure who has it. Looks like Plaquemine will recover. So the second team offense has not done much here tonight as they have turned 2 turnovers. And Plaquemine will take the ball over with a little bit under 6 minutes to go. Tigers leading 49-16.
And that just comes with a little time and repetition, Daryl. And obviously going against, at this point, guys a little older and a little more experience. So, you know, you expect the second team not to be as crisp as the first team, but if you Coach Bagley, you don't like all those fumbles.
And when they came to the sideline, I got to tell you, Coach Baggs was fired up. He's still coaching down there. He's coaching for next season already with these young men.
Well, you got to do that. He's been in the business long enough to know that, and it's paid off. As year after year, he has one of the top teams in the state, in the AAA level.
A traditional powerhouse here in Tigertown. And they throw the pass, a little slant pattern, complete, and knocked down hard by 37. I wish I had his name, as he threw a lick on the young man coming across, but a nice slant pattern. DeBott catches the ball from Magliacio, and a first down.
And Darryl, I got to tell you, that is the ugliest mascot I've ever seen in my entire life, the Plaquemine Green Devil, as I don't know exactly what it is, but it's some semblance of a devil, and it is just horrendous.
And if he had a little hat on and a clover leaf, I think he was the Notre Dame Leprechaun. So first down and 10 for the Green Devils. As Germany gets to the outside, and Lionel Joseph was out there to make the play, had a nice block put on him there, and they'll pick up 11 yards here. And, you know, if Plaquemine drives down and scores here, when you read the paper tomorrow and see 49-23, if they get in, as they bring the first-team defense back on, as Plaquemine did not pull their starters, and Coach Baggs is not going to let those guys beat up on his second team any longer as he brings the starters back in. As we talked about before, it was nice for Plaquemine to get a touchdown, but when you try to come in and run over the second team again with your starters, it's a good move by Coach Baggs, and I like it.
And I do too.
So bring it on against the big boys as they've come back in here, trying not to let them score here late in the ball game. Hand the ball up the middle, picks up about 1.5 yards, and then knocked down hard. And it looks like a flag's thrown, and they may have raked across the face mask there. We'll have to wait and see. I think that's what the call is going to be, maybe against McLean. As he went to make the tackle, his hand raked across it, so that's going to be half the distance, and first down and goal. But I like the way that Plaquemine left their starters in to get them a touchdown, but they should have pulled them at this point in the ball game. Not put those kids in there trying to pound upon the second team of the Tigers. And, you know, everybody has a different coaching style, but obviously it didn't sit well with Coach Bagley and the Independence coaching staff. So as they have brought the starters back in, trying to keep them out the end zone, it is first and goal at the 9-yard line. And these fans are getting rowdy here. They don't want to see Plaquemine score again. Goal line defense for the Tigers. They hand the ball off. He splits up the middle, and they score on the play. So that will bring the score to 49-22 with 4 minutes left to go here in the ball game. And, you know, give Plaquemine their due. They brought the first-team defense back in. They still put their heads down and scored, so they're still fighting here, not giving up, although it's a 27-point lead with 4 minutes left.
And like you say, Darryl, if you look in the paper tomorrow morning, you see the score at this point, 49-22, you're going to say, well, Plaquemine played them okay, but they didn't. They just totally got dominated tonight.
So they will go for two here. Magliacio turns, tries to throw the ball. Wasn't even close, but there's going to be a holding call or interference against the Tigers, so they'll get to run it again. And the Tigers have made a lot of penalties. Now, I hear the fans hollering about that one, but it was pretty obvious that he had his hands on the receiver, so not a bad call by the officials. The officials actually have done a pretty good call. A couple of close calls, but anytime the calls go against the home team, you're going to get a few boos, but overall they haven't done a bad job tonight.
Well, what I consider good officiating, Darryl, is people that don't throw a lot of flags, and you know, you like that out of an officiating crew, because honestly, you could probably throw a flag on every play or every other play, but, you know, unless it's blatant, I wouldn't throw a flag as much as I've seen a lot of these officials that throw flags this year.
So they will go for the two-point conversion once again. They turn and hand the ball off at the right side, and McLean's got hold of him, and Courtney, and he's not going to get in. So they do stop him from scoring a two, so the score is now 49-22. Tigers in control with 4:02 left to go here in the fourth quarter. And once again, we want to thank our sponsors for tonight's game. Fidelity Finance, locally owned and operated in downtown Hammond at 118 North Cate Street. come by their office or give them a call at 429-8000 for all their financial needs. Also, the Petro Truck Stop in Lucky Jack's. Mr. Jack Rafael, located across from the Hammond Square Mall across I-12 there. Go by and get your tank filled up. Get you a couple of Cokes for the road there if you're making a road trip. And also Music Nonstop DJ Services. Uncle Rudy Kale, 230-0988, and also Brian Duncan, 543-0995. Call either one of them up. Make your bookings in advance because these guys are in hot demand. And if you want them to come do your party, and I promise you it'll be well worth it, you need to get on them early. So give them a call and thank them very much for helping us put this game on the air tonight, seeing the Tigers prowl here in Tiger Town on a chilly Friday night with a full moon out.
And they are more in demand, Rudy and Brian, than Don Imus and Howard Stern were in the 80s.
Rudy Kell kind of reminds me a little bit of Howard Stern, just without the hair. Once again, the onside kick, it's up in the air, and once again, there's Lionel Joseph who takes it. Not a bad kick this time. Didn't quite get the height he got before, but once again, they had the opportunity to get the ball, so the young kicker has done his job. Tigers on offense here. They come back out with the first team because they're not going to turn this ball over and let Plaquemine get it again. So we might see them just try to put it on the ground, run the clock with 3:59 here to go in the fourth quarter, and the fans love it. Listen at this crowd. Fired up in Tiger Town. Antron Sieber surveys the defense. They come on the blitz. They'll hand to Tofield. He gets hit in the backfield, powers forward for about a 1.5 yard gain. And there's still a lot of tempers flaring, and there's the flag, and this one's going against Plaquemine as 74 just kept jawing, and he still has not left the Independence backfield. And you hate to see this in a ball game, folks, but this one's turned ugly.
Well, it has, and I'm going to be honest with you, 74 blatantly went after Watkinson's ankle. And I mean, that was just a dirty move right there.
Uncalled for, but as we talked about once before, it's so hard getting beat, as you've worked hard all year, but there's no call for it late in the game. But I attribute this maybe to the fact that the starter shouldn't be on the field for either team at this point. The game is basically over. And when you leave players out there been getting beaten on all night, you know their adrenaline's flowing, they're angry, and these things happen. But really, we hope that they would never happen, but they are happening here right now as this game is getting a little testy here late in the fourth quarter. And the fans getting into it. They don't like you trying to take advantage of their Tigers here. They don't want you to come in at Independence and trying to walk on their turf. Sieber once again rolls out. He's got Albritton deep. They're throwing it. He's got him. It's overthrown as they went for the jugular. And once again, flag on the ground. And you know, it's very unfortunate. Otherwise, well-played ball game, and we're going to get all these flags late in the game here. Although this one is for an eligible man downfield. 3:33 here to go in the fourth quarter. Tigers lead at 49-22, and it'll back them up 5 yards, making a 1st and 15. And the band is jumping. This place is getting kind of loud here. I even saw Marty Morgan bust a move up here. Haven't seen a move like that since the days of Saturday Night Fever and John Travolta.
And we got Shoe Pick Phil, our cameraman.
1st and 15, they come on the blitz. Tofield hitting the backfield, dragged down for about a 1 yard loss. Second and 16 it will be, and the clock continues to run. 3:15 to go here in the ball game. This game has been decided a long time ago, folks, but it's just dragging a little bit on, and for our point of view, we'd like to see it get over with, nobody get hurt, and move on to the next round as we are following the tracks of the Tigers. Merely Marty Morgan and myself, I'm Darrell Smith, calling all the action for you here. 2nd and 16, Sieber hands to Tofield, gets to the inside, drags people forward, and will be pulled down after about a 5 yard gain, brings up 3rd and 11. 2:42 to go and counting.
And Darrell, in the second half, this game has just dragged on. It's kind of been a slow-moving game, but it's been a great game as the Independence Tigers have come away with a victory and done a nice job. And they'll move on to the quarterfinals.
Third and 12 as we see Albritton to the high side, Williams to the low side. They faked a handoff to Tofield. Sieber around the corner, gets to the outside and picks up the first down, dragged out of bounds at the 25-yard line. First and 10 for the Tigers. 2:04 to go here in the fourth quarter. And that's twice we've seen the young man use his speed to get to the outside, and he is a great running quarterback that we haven't seen utilized a lot this year in that manner because he's thrown the football so well. First and 10 from the 25. Sieber and they're sending the blitz once again. Tofield to the right side, spins back up the middle, breaks a tackle, and cut to the outside, trying to get back to the left and had it open and slipped and fell, or he would have scored once again. But one more first down for the Tigers, setting them up first and 10 at the 11-yard line. Minute 52 to go here as they move the chains and the clock will start running. And the Tigers right now look like they want to hammer one more in to make a point.
I think they do, Darrell, but we'll see with 1:49 to go. As the Tigers have no fear, according to that flag, and I can believe it. Some of the teams they've beat this year.
Hand off to Tofield outside. He's going to score, and that is number 5, if I'm not mistaken, on the night for LeBrandon Tofield. The real deal, folks, has shown the whole package tonight. He's caught a pass for a touchdown, ran in 4 other ones, made some great moves, showed the power on one run. He showed the total package tonight and why he is the best running back that I have seen this year, bar none.
57's going to cheer.
And looks like Antoine Smith, number 57, has joined the cheerleaders. He's down there leading them. I don't know if Coach Baggs saw that, he'd be too happy with it, but can't blame a young man for celebrating.
And a young man's got pretty good rhythm.
Well, maybe he's going to be a cheerleader for basketball season after football's over with. You never know. But it just goes to show you the camaraderie between the cheerleaders, the players, the fans. Family atmosphere here in Tigertown as a few of the fans have started making their way to the exit. This one is done. Minute 31 to go, but it is 55-22. Tigers put back in the first team, make their point, and they will kick off here with a minute 31 to go. Festive atmosphere here in Independence as the Tigers are walking away with this one, folks. There'll be a lot of celebrating down this town tonight. And hopefully they'll be celebrating all over the parish. Kentwood, Independence, Amite, Hammond, Ponchatoula, and Jewel Sumner all were playoff bound going into tonight. We haven't had many scores, and we just hope the best for every team in the parish. Tangipahoa Parish football this year, the best around.
I couldn't agree with you more, Darrell. We have 8 teams in our parish, and we get 6 representatives, so that's right there. That says a lot.
75% ratio, and you got to be happy with that. Antron Sieber with the kick will be fielded by number 92, Wilford Jones, a big lineman. He gets to the outside, showing a little speed and a little power, and I'm impressed by this young man. He's played well tonight to be only a freshman. 6'3", 248.
And he's got a lot of good athletic ability, Darrell, and so, you know, you might be reading about Wilford Jones in 3 years of being a prospect if he continues to grow with that athletic ability he has.
And now the Tigers come back out once again. Second team defense back on the field. Plaquemine still with their first team offensive line on the field. So with a minute 22 to go, let's just hope this one gets over quickly and we have no more incidents. What a performance by the Tigers. First and 10 from the 35. Magliacio, the quarterback. Germany, your tailback. He will turn. He's dropping the pass. This one trying to throw deep. Rolls to the outside and hit hard by Lionel Joseph. And there have been some licks laid out tonight. He tried to go deep there, but it was well covered. And let me see if I can get this young man's number because I think I missed it. I believe it's Chris Bonds, number 44, doing a fine job on the corner, covering the receiver all the way down the field so that Magliosio had no one to throw to. Under a minute to go here, clock ticking. The ball will be snapped, hand to Germany, breaks to the inside, got a little hole, cuts up the middle, slips and falls, knee touches down, would have picked up a few more yards, but, you know, this young man, Germany, Charleston, Germany, let me see here, he is a sophomore, 5'7", 145, and has shown me a lot here tonight in the absence of the injured Jules Blanchard.
And, Darryl, he's got more moves than a 12-hour chess match. He's got some moves, I'm going to tell you. He's done more cutting than Sal did Saturday morning at his barbershop.
The only thing I can say about that comment, Marty, is there probably would have been more cutting going on down on the corner if he hadn't been playing golf somewhere. So the Tigers win it 55-22 here as the game ends. And the Independence Tigers have come out tonight and flexed their muscles and overpowered and decimated the Plaquemine Green Devils, win it 55-22. And we look forward to going on the road next week, whether it be West Feliciana or Winsboro. We're here for the duration with the Tigers. And we want to let everybody, we enjoyed bringing tonight's game to you. We will see you next week. Once again, thank our sponsors, Music Nonstop DJ Services, Fidelity Finance, Petro Truck Stop. Thanks everybody who watches. And, you know, we love the comments we hear during the week. We like to know that you're out there watching. The sponsors like to know that you're out there watching. Go by and thank them for coming in. So for Shoe Pick Phil, Millie Marty Morgan, I'm Darryl Smith. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. We'll see you next week on the playoff game for the Independence Tigers versus whoever.